No CP, Jiang Xiaoyun unexpectedly traveled through a parallel world of blue stars. Here, the Beast Master is revered, especially in terms of talent and strength. I didn't expect to be an S.level talent, 1 in 10 million. Jiang Xiaoyun. This golden finger is a bit too wide. After seeing weaknesses Jiang Xiaoyun. Oh my god, are you playing with me? As an outsider, Jiang Xiaoyun expressed that she is not very familiar with the level here. Others. Oh my god, the intermediate beast tamer is so powerful Jiang Xiaoyun. Isn't it possible that everyone has already become a senior beast tamer? Others. It's the first time I've seen someone who worked so hard to improve their level due to ignorance. Have you ever experienced 6 in the morning and 10 in the evening? Come on, even geniuses should roll themselves into bubble gum. As an ordinary person, of course, we should also follow her footsteps. Ordinary person. Thank you, Academician Jiang, for brushing the ordinary person improvement secret script. Thank you, Academician Jiang, for watching the capitalist explosion video. Where is Academician Jiang? I want to personally thank her. I want to set up a monument for her longevity. Academician Jiang. Thank you for your patronage. Please walk slowly without delivery. Nestled in the laboratory and unwilling to see anyone, the female lead is quite timid, a bit of a social anxiety, and ambitious. I am a genius. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Xiaoyun walked out of the research room and shook his already battered head. Looking back at the laboratory, he frowned and said, there hasn't been any progress yet. It's just a step away from home. By completing this experiment, China can make tremendous progress. Academician Jiang. Academician Jiang, shouted the researcher accompanying Jiang Xiaoyun. Jiang Xiaoyun felt a headache and then spun around, falling straight down. No, there's still research, I can't fall here. Jiang Xiaoyun. A middle-aged man's voice exploded in Jiang Xiaoyun's ear. I was just planning to comfort my student that she was okay, but soon she realized something was wrong. When did she accept male students? And it's a male student even older than her. Jiang Xiaoyun opened his eyes and before he could see who the person in front of him was, he was pulled up and dragged towards the playground. After adapting to the sunshine, Jiang Xiaoyun looked at the surroundings with a feeling of familiarity and unfamiliarity. Jiang Xiaoyun quickly turned her brain. Yes, this is her high school, but she has some more memories in her mind. Having traveled on his own, Jiang Xiaoyun definitely thought of it. Here is the Beast Clan, where the Beast Master can contract the extraordinary abilities of battle beasts. However, the probability of the Beast Master appearing is less than 1%. This powerful and rare ability has led to the rise of the Beast Master's status, with almost all management being Beast Masters. Now she is about to awaken. Jiang Xiaoyun has compiled some key information. The situation here is not much different from the novels she has read, but talent is entirely dependent on innate ability. That is to say, some people are born to be inferior, while others are born to be superior. This makes no sense. Many people who worked hard when they were young awaken without talent and have no hope in their lives. Standing in front of the awakening location, Jiang Xiaoyun observes the surroundings. In front of me is the Qixing Stone, a meteorite from the universe that can detect whether a person has talent and register talent. The higher the talent, the brighter the Qixing Stone. On the left are ordinary people without talent, all hanging their heads and many crying. On the right is the person who has successfully awakened, with a face full of excitement and pride. Jiang Xiaoyun recalled that her family was an ordinary person, and there was not a single beast tamer in the previous 3 generations, which means she may not be either. How can a person who is used to being a genius be willing to be mediocre, or is it destined to be mediocre? But if the arrow is on the string, I have to shoot, even if I don't have talent, I have to fight for a lifetime. Jiang Xiaoyun placed her hand horizontally in her heart, and after more than 10 seconds of testing, she felt like she was going through years. Then, the Qixing stone emitted a dazzling light, and in the next moment, she had an additional black cover next to her, ensuring that no light could leak. Talent is equal to privacy. This kind of cover is placed around, and when you feel the light, it will open. It can block people's vision from seeing the level of talent, and also let them see if you have talent. Han He, the head of the Imperial Beast Department, who was observing the awakening ceremony on the side, couldn't sit still. He came to Jiang Xiaoyun's side, gathered his strength, and waited for the black cover to be removed before taking the person away. This kind of thing was of no use to people of his level. Feeling the opening of her spiritual sea, Jiang Xiaoyun realized that she had succeeded and quickly opened her own panel. Name: Jiang Xiaoyun. Talent level: S. Talent skill. Control field: to completely control everything within 10 square meters for 10 seconds. The world is not benevolent and treats all things as a cud dog. S. Level. Jiang Xiaoyun jumped happily, and according to her memory, the probability of an S. Level appearance is only 1 in 10 million. But what does the last unmarked sentence mean? What is it for? Normally, does the panel have this sentence? Jiang Xiaoyun didn't know that anyone she had never awakened had taught her, so she simply ignored it. Weakness: 1. Unable to accept feedback from battle beasts. 2. Slow down cultivation speed by 50%. 3. Can only sign equal treaties with war beasts. Tell Jiang Xiaoyun these 3 weaknesses directly. Don't think about it, you are just a fragile person. The methods used by the Beast Master to strengthen himself have all been weakened, and Jiang Xiaoyun felt like crying without tears. As expected, the more powerful the skill, the more side effects it had. The black mask lasts for 10 minutes to protect the smooth and safe opening of the Spirit Sea by the Beast Master. As soon as the black mask was removed, Jiang Xiaoyun was once again pulled away. A few seconds later, Jiang Xiaoyun appeared in the principal's office. What's wrong with this? Fortunately, Jiang Xiaoyun had also seen a lot of the world before, otherwise she would still be shocked by the changes before her. Have you awakened to S. Level? Upon hearing the question, Jiang Xiaoyun was somewhat surprised, but it was also true that this kind of thing is not a big deal for a strong person and can definitely be seen through at a glance. Yes, it's S. Level. Without waiting for the other person to ask again, he revealed his skills and weaknesses. He didn't expect the other party to speak so smoothly, and he also blurted out his promise. I can give you a yellow status, no need to do tasks, the benefits will still be the same. As long as you join the Beast Master Department in Haisha. Jiang Xiaoyun, who originally only wanted to protect, said. The joy of accidents. Seeing the minister making such a big promise, the principal who pretended to be transparent on the side quickly made a promise: you are the main resource in the school. Your talents and weaknesses are special, and the school can also give you privileges. No, if you don't pull some people, you may have to run. My school is not the most powerful one. He saw that Jiang Xiaoyun's face was filled with disbelief and explained, a city with an S. Level rating can receive the treatment of a first-class city. A city needs to ensure that an S. Level rating of 4 stars or more can permanently become a first-class city. No wonder, otherwise she wouldn't have received this level of treatment. Thank you. Jiang Xiaoyun knew about her own situation and had no choice but to rely on the government. But I have a few small requests. You mentioned it, we will do our best to satisfy you. I don't want any appearance or information to be leaked, and my mother is an ordinary person. I hope she can be protected. Can the yellow level welfare be given to me as soon as possible? I need to go to the Warbeast matching center. Jiang Xiaoyun mentioned everything she could think of. Don't worry, there must be some protection for you and your family. I will take you to the matching center later, and the benefits will be credited to you half an hour after you fill out this form. How about it? Our little princess from Haisha. Han He half-jokingly said. Jiang Xiaoyun couldn't help but laugh, princess. It's really on par. Jiang Xiaoyun's tense mood relaxed at this moment, and her soul and body completely merged, as if she was born into this world. After filling in the information, Jiang Xiaoyun took the advanced cultivation method handed over by Han He and was taken to the Warbeast matching center. There is no place to sell Warbeast cubs here, it's just that all newly born Warbeast cubs that cooperate with humans need to contribute a portion of their spiritual power to the matching center. People only need to input their spiritual power into the matching center to display the attractive spiritual power, and then call the matching beast cubs to come and contract. Jiang Xiaoyun looked at the wall in front of him, as if the sea had been cut open here, and the sea was right in front of him. Put your hand on top, and soon several mental energy groups approached, each shining brightly and looking exceptionally beautiful. Jiang Xiaoyun noticed a group of people rushing forward crazily. He found it extremely interesting and felt a high level of spiritual compatibility between himself and the other party. This feeling was very comfortable. Just it, I want to see what kind of creature it is first, Jiang Xiaoyun decided. The spiritual power group cannot see the species and attributes of the creatures on the opposite side. Some people have protested against this, so a pet house appeared where you can choose. The pets are also very beautiful, but the matching degree cannot be guaranteed. Following the spiritual call, Jiang Xiaoyun saw an unexpected result that surprised her. This is a giant tube jellyfish. Thinking of the other person's characteristics, that jellyfish can actually send spiritual energy here, there must be a difference. I just want this one. Jiang Xiaoyun said happily. Originally, she wanted to contract a cute furry creature, but when she was a child, the giant tube jellyfish in the underwater small column brought her too much shock. Are you sure? I won't take a look anymore. Although I can't choose, a powerful beast tamer can still choose from the matching creatures. Anyone who can choose will review their choices. Remembering her own decision. Making difficulties, Jiang Xiaoyun decided not to look at the giant tube jellyfish, which was even more beautiful than she remembered. Jiang Xiaoyun couldn't resist this feeling. It was both matched, beautiful, and had powerful abilities, which surprised her too much. Okay, you can decide. Han He didn't demand it either. Although strength is important, he just needs to protect her well. It depends on her own direction of development. This indifferent attitude was blown away by the recruited creatures. Jiang, do you know what this is? Chapter 2. Colorful Jellyfish. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ah. Don't you know? Although Jiang Xiaoyun was surprised by the appearance of the giant tube jellyfish on land, isn't this the beast world? She thought it was because of her family that she didn't encounter it. No, there is no such creature in the records of the Beast Master. Han He stared at the creature in front of him with wide eyes and said, you quickly contract with it. Once you contract, you will know its information. Jiang Xiaoyun nodded. She didn't expect an accident, and Minister Han beside her had already called for someone to come over. Touching the other party with one's own spiritual power, matching spiritual power, and creating an equal treaty, the contract process goes smoothly. Jiang Xiaoyun felt a phantom appear in his spiritual sea, and a small house appeared in his mind, with the giant jellyfish of the new contract inside. Race. Taiyun jellyfish attribute. Water, spirit, can be added. Can normal beast pets increase attributes? Talent skill. Portable water pressure, with deep sea midnight water pressure on the body, can be released up to 3 meters around the body. Skills. Beginner level. Water arrow, water shield intermediate. Swirl, stun, attract the other person's attention to oneself, advanced. Surging waves, mind control, clone, currently only able to control simple creatures for personal use. Wow, this is a skill for her own growth. She has found treasure level. 1 star, 3 levels, 579/1500, can you add points? Sure enough, you have a golden finger. Level. Xianhua level, there are a total of 7 levels. Beginner, Superpower, Xianhua, Extraordinary, Star Zhong, Legend, and Divination. Once you pet it yourself, it becomes Xianhua, Amazing, Evolution. 357/10,000, Evolution is also a bit tricky. It doesn't tell me how to add points, does it? Jiang Xiaoyun looked at her roast once, but she could not hide her excitement of being young again and having super ability after watching it again. Not long after, a group of people wearing lab clothes walked in. Looking at the lab clothes, Jiang Xiaoyun felt very friendly. In her previous life, she was also one of these people. Jiang, we're just collecting some information. You don't have to be nervous, said the person in charge. Han he introduced, this is Academician Wang, who studies the evolutionary pathways of Warbeasts. The rest are all his researchers. Jiang Xiaoyun greeted her seriously and also asked for her opinion on the new battle beast, as she was not familiar with it when we first met. The giant tube jellyfish is also a jellyfish, and it has no brain, not knowing what to cooperate with. Jiang Xiaoyun and several researchers introduced the situation. Jellyfish don't have brains and don't know what to cooperate with, but I only agree with your observation, and I will cooperate with you to let it release its skills. The rest is not possible. I have an equal treaty with it, and if you conduct experiments on it, I'm afraid it may have some impact on me. Academician Wang agreed with a smile when he saw Jiang Xiaoyun's serious appearance. We are a legitimate institution and will not conduct experiments on war animals. Jiang Xiaoyun nodded awkwardly, recalling the characteristics of the giant tube jellyfish. The ordinary ones are called giant tube jellyfish, while the animal race is called Kaiyun jellyfish, Jiang Xiaoyun said while writing down the words. Giant tube jellyfish live in the midnight zone of the deep sea, below 1,000 meters underwater, where no sunlight can shine. Therefore, some creatures there will emit light and giant tube jellyfish will also do so. Although giant tube jellyfish are called that, they are actually composed of many small organisms gathered together. I don't know if they are considered as a single organism, but Kaiyun jellyfish is just a living organism. Many small organisms group together to form new creatures. That's indeed rare, but it's not like we haven't discovered a single one in so many years, right? The ugly fish is also deep.c, the researcher who kept the record asked. Jiang Xiaoyun knew that the so-called ugly fish was the anglerfish, which was also one of the fish that grew strangely in the deep sea without being visible. Different, giant tube jellyfish cannot leave deep water areas and will explode. Explosion. The recording researcher looked at the jellyfish next to him and thought to himself, take a second look, otherwise we won't know when we'll see the next one. Well, my jellyfish have a skill of carrying water pressure, otherwise they wouldn't be able to get up, Jiang Xiaoyun explained. That's why even if there are colorful jellyfish, you can't see them. In the ocean, there are not only animal races that cooperate with humans, but also those that do not cooperate. Unless necessary, no country will go to the sea, especially for deep sea surveys. The sea is much more dangerous than land. Jiang Xiaoyun has finished recording here, and various detection instruments have been placed around the jellyfish over there. Cloud. Feeling the nervousness of the beast, Jiang Xiaoyun comforted and explained in a soft voice, don't worry, just use a few skills and go back to buy you something delicious. Jellyfish babies don't have many skills yet, the only thing worth noting is attraction and clones. Currently, there are no biological skills that can attract attention, and clones are somewhat unusual, as they separate the small jellyfish on their bodies. Jiang Xiaoyun cooperated and received an 8 million yuan prize from the Research Institute, successfully promoting her to a wealthy woman. After spending tens of thousands on some war animal food in a nearby store, Jiang Xiaoyun finally remembered that he still had to go home. Jiang Xiaoyun almost followed Academician Wang. After Jiang Xiaoyun came out of the matching station, it was almost dark. Hurry up and go home. Mom. I'm back. Xiaoyun is back. Hurry up and have dinner. You're so late, you're starving. Jiang Weiwei pulled Jiang Xiaoyun to dinner, without asking about the outcome of Jiang Xiaoyun's awakening. Their family hasn't had a beast tamer for so long, and the chances of awakening are all well known. The child was unhappy because he didn't have talent, so there's no need to stab him again. Jiang Xiaoyun also knew her mother's thoughts and smiled, saying, I have awakened my talent. Jiang Xiaoyun's words were very natural, as if she didn't care about it. Jiang Weiwei didn't react for a moment and said, It's okay, our family hasn't had it all along. Jiang Weiwei's voice abruptly stopped, and she looked at Jiang Xiaoyun incredulously, saying, Xiaoyun, what are you saying? Upon closer inspection, Jiang Weiwei's voice trembled slightly. Jiang Xiaoyun gave a reassuring smile and said it again. Mom, I have awakened my talent. A tear fell on Jiang Weiwei's face and she smiled, saying, You child, why didn't you say it earlier? Let's go out and have hot pot, your favorite Chongqing hot pot restaurant. Jiang Weiwei was about to change clothes and go out when Jiang Xiaoyun smiled and threw the next bomb. I'm still an S.level talent. S.level, that's really great. Looking at Jiang Weiwei's lack of reaction, it's clear that she doesn't know how rare an S.level is. Yeah, it's not even possible for tens of millions of people to have an S.level, just let your daughter have it. I'm so good, just one for tens of millions of miles. Jiang Weiwei smiled again. Well, I earned over 10 million yuan today. I'll take you to eat good food, buy good clothes, and will also change to a big house, said Jiang Xiaoyun. Now her family's environment is much worse than in her previous life, and 10 million is money that her mother cannot earn in her lifetime. Of course, we need to give her something good first. More than 10 million. Jiang Weiwei was first shocked and then refused, I'll go match the Warbeast for you. This money Mom doesn't need it, this place is quite good. My Warcraft government has already paid for it, and I have a monthly salary of 5 million, which is definitely enough to spend, Jiang Xiaoyun said. Go to the matching hall normally, pay 100,000 yuan for matching before getting started, and even give a tip of 50% of the purchase price of the fighting beast when matching it. So at first, Jiang Xiaoyun asked for money to buy war beasts, but not only did he get the package, but he also earned 8 million. Make a profit directly. Everyone should think of the Kaiyun jellyfish as the giant tube jellyfish in the underwater small column, but the actual appearance is not as beautiful. Chapter 3. Yun Shu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Xiaoyun took Jiang Weiwei to a large shopping mall that his mother and daughter had never been to before. One reason is that the clothes in this place are too expensive for the mother and daughter, and the other reason is that there are many animal guards inside. If there were any unforeseen circumstances, my family would be ruined, but now it's different. In fact, although things are expensive in large shopping malls, there are actually hundreds and thousands of clothes, and it is not as exaggerated as the novels say that there are tens of thousands of clothes to move around. Jiang Xiaoyun has no requirements for clothes, he just feels that if he has money, he should buy some good ones. Jiang Weiwei was already accustomed to poverty, and she didn't have any demands. So Jiang Xiaoyun quickly picked out the clothes, picked 2 sets of clothes for her mother and herself, and went to pay the bill. May I ask if you are the 2 animal trainers? The animal trainer is 10% off, and there is more discount in the animal trainer department. The salesperson looked at the plainly dressed mother and daughter, knowing that their family conditions were average. Thinking of today's awakening, it was possible that the child had just woken up and bought a few good clothes. Thinking of this, she looked enviously at Jiang Weiwei. The child was in high spirits, and suddenly became successful. How much discount is given to members of the yellow level department? Jiang Xiaoyun said, taking out his yellow level medal. Yellow level. The salesperson scanned his previous speculation and respectfully said, you can get a 50% discount. I'll handle it for you now. Okay, wrap it up. Jiang Xiaoyun was a bit surprised. Isn't it that the protagonist will experience a whole process of slapping and showing off when he comes back from the mall? A salesperson who looks down on others and then shows off their S-level identity to face the whole audience. Jiang Xiaoyun was amused by the thoughts in her mind. She was so old that she was still thinking about these things. Indeed, she had read too many novels. This place was originally just a department store, and there were not so many slapping scenes. I didn't expect that Chow Chow would arrive. Just as he finished speaking, there was no face-slapping scene, and the next second someone would bring their face up. Jiang Xiaoyun suddenly felt something was wrong, but couldn't say what was wrong. Jiang Weiwei, why did you suddenly come to the mall? You bought so many clothes. Don't run out of money for setting up a stall next month. The person who approached was Hifang, who was setting up a stall next to Jiang Weiwei. However, unlike Jiang Weiwei, Hifang has a son with a natural talent of E-level. She only comes out to set up a stall to subsidize her family and experience life. Recalling the information of the person in front of her, Jiang Xiaoyun felt a bit speechless. Is she really the protagonist? Is it still the script of Long Outyan's face slapping that left? Jiang Yuansher, who has been staying in the laboratory without much entertainment, became interested. It's also good to have some fun. Where, the child is full of energy and has awakened his talent. Bring the child to choose 2 decent clothes. Jiang Weiwei looked at Hifang with caution, and we usually don't deal with setting up a stall together. Now, it must be a weasel offering New Year's greetings to the chicken. Awakened. It's not easy, Hifang said congratulations, but her face turned pale. She had been teasing her son's E-level talent in front of her before, and now her daughter has also awakened. If her talent was high, wouldn't she? What kind of talent is a child? Jiang Weiwei frowned and didn't know how to answer. How could anyone ask someone about their privacy as soon as they came up? Jiang Xiaoyun analogized in her heart that asking others what their talents are here openly is like asking them what genetic diseases they have, who can tell you? However, Jiang Xiaoyun browsed through various novels and skillfully answered, F-level, but with talent, I am very happy. I will definitely be able to lead a good life with my mother in the future. Salesperson on the side. Should I return my yellow badge or not? Sure enough, after Jiang Xiaoyun finished speaking, Hifang's smile immediately became much more sincere. It's okay, your child will definitely have better talent when the time comes. The whole family doesn't have talent, and now it's really difficult to have a genetic mutation. We need to pass on the genes well. After saying that, Hifang walked away without looking back. Jiang Xiaoyun is not sure, so this person came here to inquire about his talent. However, one may think that the scene of being pulled away by Han He as soon as they were tested was seen by many people, and there may be criminals involved. Thinking of this, Jiang Xiaoyun planned to go back and tell Han He that he might have been targeted. Xiaoyun is really smart. Next time, no matter who asks, don't disclose such private matters as her talent, Jiang Weiwei said helplessly. Got it, Mom, let's go to the next house. Jiang Xiaoyun happily hugged Jiang Weiwei's arm, took the things and yellow badge handed over by the salesperson, and ran bouncing towards a cosmetics store. Jiang Weiwei looked at Jiang Xiaoyun with indulgence and thought to herself, indeed, I am still happy. I just kept pretending to be calm. Just because she has the temper to show off for half a day after eating more candy, how could such a big thing be so calm in her heart? Although Jiang Xiaoyun happily entered the cosmetics store, neither Jiang Weiwei nor she knew how to put on makeup. In the end, Jiang Xiaoyun could only buy a lipstick. After strolling around, Jiang Xiaoyun took Jiang Weiwei to buy a house. To Jiang Xiaoyun's surprise, all the houses were 50% off. I only found out after asking, that merchants can ask the government for money after they have discounted their prices, and they will not lose money at all. Jiang Xiaoyun. Make a fortune. After a 50% discount, Jiang Xiaoyun only spent 200,000 yuan on a high-rise two-bedroom living room. Looking at the prices, Jiang Xiaoyun finally realized how much the Beast Master can earn and spend. He spends 5 million yuan a month, which is enough for the Warcraft to eat for a week for tens of thousands of yuan, not including evolution and additional improvements. The tens of thousands of yuan a week is only enough to barely eat enough, and cannot be counted as training expenses. Wallet. Danger. Because he had taken a long leave from the principal, Jiang Xiaoyun was not in a hurry and gradually helped his mother arrange everything, which was already very late. Girl, no matter what you do in the future, I will support you and fully cooperate with you, but you must also ensure your own safety. Jiang Weiwei understood that the greater your ability, the greater the responsibility. The S. level may seem prestigious, but what you have experienced is also the most dangerous. My daughter has no identity, background, or strength, so she can't compare to those families with talent and inheritance. Jiang Xiaoyun smiled and agreed. The possibility of what she wanted to do being an enemy of the world was also slim, and it was not necessary to say anything about it until it was done. The next day Jiang Xiaoyun went to the Warbeast training hall. The Warbeast training hall is a place for training war beasts and allowing animal trainers to practice, similar to a combination of a gym and a spiritual energy room, and has a single room. We have beginner, intermediate, and advanced training rooms here. May I know which one you need? Said the waiter beside us. How much does it cost per hour for beginners? Jiang Xiaoyun asked. 1,000 per hour. Now there is a discount on buying 3 hours and getting 1 hour free. Jiang Xiaoyun. 3 hours. Can I store the value? Sure, you can get 10 hours of free storage within 24 hours, and 3 days a week. Jiang Xiaoyun. What a great discount. Buy it. Help me store value for a week. Jiang Xiaoyun watched with heartache as the other party took away over 100,000 yuan. Oh my God, this is my salary from the previous year. But I can't help but feel heartbroken. There is still 1 month left for the college entrance examination, and my grades in this lifetime can only be considered above average. I have no understanding of the situation here, and it is unlikely to take the makeup exam. I can only start from the martial arts exam. After all, my S.level talent is not a joke. Jiang Xiaoyun has already arranged her time for a month. During the day, she stays at the opening point here, 8 a.m., and trains until it closes here, 9 p.m. She eats in the middle and relies on takeout. Apart from practicing martial arts, Jiang Xiaoyun actually doesn't want to fall behind in the literary exam. He plans to wake up at 6 in the morning and go to bed at 12 at night. Apart from practicing martial arts, his time is to learn literature. Here, we learn about beast control, knowledge of natural resources and treasures, as well as various practical combat skills. And the materialization of history and land politics. Jiang Xiaoyun does not plan to study these 6 subjects. There is no need to study materialization, and she is temporarily unable to learn history, geography, and politics. Having gone through various overnight studies, she was a little excited about the plan she had arranged, and had a familiar and controllable joy. Kaiyun Jellyfish. Jiang Xiaoyun called out the battle beast he had contracted yesterday. This is also our first formal meeting. Yesterday, there were a lot of things that didn't bother you. I'm really sorry, Jiang Xiaoyun said seriously. He signed an equal contract, which means that the other party cannot cooperate with him in the battle, which is not good for himself. If he doesn't get along well with the other party, he may not be able to let them cooperate in the battle. Cloud. Love. Name. The voice of the colorful jellyfish reached Jiang Xiaoyun's head. Yun, love you, what is my name? Although jellyfish can only bounce word by word, Jiang Xiaoyun and she are truly connected, and some things can be understood without language. Your name is Yun Shu, Jiang Xiaoyun smiled. The other party doesn't like you. How could they match you? and how could they successfully contract? Chapter 4. Training. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Xiaoyun analyzed Yun Shu's information and made a summary. 1. You don't have a major position, whether it's attacking or controlling, you only maintain a little bit. In other words, you don't have strong attacking power, and it's easy to lose control. However, it's not realistic for you to learn new skills directly, so you just need to do well now. Okay, now you go train water arrow 50 times, then water shield 50 times, and other skills 10 times each. If you don't have enough energy, come find me to eat. After training today, I'll buy you something delicious. Yun Shu. Jiang Xiaoyun has never taken care of children or pets, and he really doesn't know how to get along with a jellyfish that needs to be with him for a lifetime. Jiang. Introverted. Xiao. Unable to get along with others. Yun. Fortunately, Yun Shu is a jellyfish and won't think much. Since the owner says to train, just go and train. It's just that Yun Shu didn't even notice the equality treaty he signed with the other party, and there was no owner at all. Yun Shu's memories and the colorful underwater jellyfish clan. Baby, if you can swim up there, send your spiritual power up and find a good owner. Yun Shu's mother looked at him affectionately and said, our group of Kaiyun jellyfish is rare in number and has a low status in the deep sea. We have never had enough to eat, but my mother heard that humans can contract Warbeasts. As long as you can contract with the other party and listen to their words, they will give you a lot of delicious food, without having to eat leftovers like us. Mom doesn't expect you to give back to the tribe. Even if you are seen by humans and they discover us, we won't be able to get up. Once we leave the midnight zone, we will only have a dead end. My mother only hopes that my baby can be well, go up there and become a powerful Kaiyun jellyfish. When the baby is strong, remember to come back and take a look at my mother. Okay mom, I will definitely have my animal tamer buy you many, many delicious things, and never let you go hungry, said Yun Shu, the baby. So, when Yun Shu felt that there was a match, he pushed forward with all his might. As long as he made a contract first, he could have a full meal early, become stronger, and bring delicious food to his mother early. Therefore, upon hearing the training, there was an extra meal, and Yun Shu happily went to the training, still pondering in her heart how to save some food to take back for her mother to eat. Seeing the jellyfish babies obediently training, Jiang Xiaoyun also breathed a sigh of relief. She had heard that some people's Warbeasts did not listen to command and training at all, so she added some rewards to the already set rewards in her heart, just as a reward for the obedience of jellyfish babies. Yun Shu's training has started, and Jiang Xiaoyun has also started practicing here. She felt heartbroken at the thought of slowing down her cultivation speed by 50%. She must make up for all of this. The time for cultivation passed quickly, and Jiang Xiaoyun, who was not accustomed to it, almost fell asleep a few times. Fortunately, she managed to get through it and got used to it much better. I feel the spiritual power in my body constantly running and becoming more and more abundant. Jiang Xiaoyun's heart was filled with joy. Oh my goodness, I have also experienced the day of cultivating immortality. Is it that I didn't suppress the impulse in my heart and suddenly jumped up after another spiritual cycle? Yun Shu. Is there something wrong with my master? But perhaps humans are like this, and their own knowledge is still somewhat shallow. As the first colorful jellyfish to see humans, Yun Shu can rationalize all the human behaviors he sees in his heart. There must be a reason for humans to do this. They are just a jellyfish from the deep sea, and it is normal for them to be ignorant. Yun Shu nodded silently in her heart, while Jiang Xiaoyun, who was beside her, secretly glanced at her own jellyfish baby after jumping. Seeing that it didn't react, she thought it hadn't seen it and quietly sat back. After a day of training, Jiang Xiaoyun bought a crystal fruit for Yun Shu, 1,000. Jiang Xiaoyun's heart was dripping with blood, but she thought it would only be a month now, with only 300,000 yuan per day. If she didn't pass the exam, eat, Mom will give you the best and train well. Jiang Xiaoyun looked at Yun Shu and said to it in her heart. Feeling the words of his own owner, Yun Shu's excited tentacles flew wildly. Okay, practice, eat. Okay, train, eat delicious food. Seeing how much it likes to eat, Jiang Xiaoyun kept this in mind and could use the food as a reward for anything in the future. A week later, Jiang Xiaoyun left at exactly 8 o'clock again. Suddenly, Jiang Weiwei grabbed her and said, "Xiaoyun, Mom has nothing to do at home now. She has been busy for a lifetime and doesn't get used to it when she's free. Why don't I go out and set up a stall again?" Jiang Xiaoyun was about to blurt out that she could go if she wanted. Without telling me, she remembered Aunt He, who had been mocking her mother all along. She was not very happy in her heart, but her mother was able to stay there for so long because there was no need to pay the sharing fee and she wouldn't be investigated, which made her feel a bit uncomfortable. "Mom, why don't you go to the night market where you pay for the stall? Our family doesn't have any financial pressure now, so let's just treat setting up the stall as fun," Jiang Xiaoyun said with a smile. "I don't need to spend that money, I just want to have something to do and I can even subsidize you." Seeing Jiang Weiwei's somewhat humble appearance now, Jiang Xiaoyun realized that her mother was not unused to idleness, but was afraid that she would have no value. "Mom, I'm so important now. Usually, there are people secretly protecting me. What if you get into trouble in a place where nobody cares? There's some security in paying." Jiang Xiaoyun quickly came up with a legitimate reason and then coquettishly said, "By the way, I also want to eat the pot bun you made. You happen to set up a stall, and occasionally you can leave a portion for me. When you have time, you can bring it over to me, which saves me from eating unhealthy food outside." Jiang Xiaoyun looked at Jiang Weiwei eagerly and said, "I've been tired of eating food outside these days." Jiang Weiwei was overjoyed to see Jiang Xiaoyun like this and said, "Okay, just tell your mother what you want to eat. If you're tired of fried pork, I'll make something else for you. Nowadays, there are all pre-made dishes outside, and they taste the same. Of course, it's easy to get tired of them." "Thank you, Mom." Jiang Xiaoyun happily walked out of the room, and Jiang Weiwei was also preparing to pack her things before setting up a stall. Upon arriving at the training room, Jiang Xiaoyun opened her own panel. Name: Jiang Xiaoyun. Cultivation: Junior Beast Master, 10 out of 100, Talent Level S. Talent Skill: Control Field. To completely control everything within 10 square meters for 10 seconds. The world is not benevolent and treats all things as a cud dog. Weakness: 1. Unable to accept feedback from battle beasts. 2. Slow down cultivation speed by 50%. 3. You can only sign an equality agreement with Warbeast's race. Kaiyun Jellyfish Attribute: Water, Spirit, can be added. Talent Skill: Portable water pressure, with deep sea midnight zone water pressure on the body, can be released up to 3 meters around the body. Skills: Beginner Level: Water Arrow, Proficient 105/1000, Water Shield, 105/1000, Intermediate. Water Spinning Scroll, Beginner 60 out of 100, Dizzying, attracting the opponent's attention to oneself. Advanced. Waves of Water, Beginner 60/100, Mind Control, Clone, Beginner 60/100, Level 1 star, 3 levels, 856/1500, Product Level. Hyunhua Level Evolution 357/10,000, got the data. How did this point increase? Jiang Xiaoyun pondered but didn't ask it to do anything. Every day, he just repeated the intensity and accuracy of skill practice, probably based on the number of times the skill was used. The task she asked Yun Shu to do is to have 50 basic skills per day, and 10 intermediate and advanced skills. This is a basic task, and Yun Shu will do some extra work every day to get better food. I don't know how much more it will do, but it seems that I still need to count how long it will take to add a point, which is somewhat hopeful. Chapter 5. The number of times I have been speechless for hundreds of years is not as many as today. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Yun Shu, come to me and slowly release your skills one by one. Jiang Xiaoyun counted the number of times Yun Shu released his skills while looking at the numbers on the skill board. Add 1 skill point to 2 basic skills, 1 skill point to 4 intermediate skills, and 1 skill point to 8 advanced skills. Jiang Xiaoyun is a bit worried. Oh my god, with geometric growth, what about higher level skills? The skill levels here are the same as others' cultivation levels. 16 king level skills, 32 holy level skills, 64 divine level skills. Cloud. Yun, what's wrong with you? I'm fine, let's continue practicing. Jiang Xiaoyun figured out how Yun Shu's points were added. Next, he needs to figure out how he added his own points. He's only 10 o'clock, so it's heartbreaking to see and tears to hear. After practicing for an hour, Jiang Xiaoyun glanced at the points and found that it was very good, not long. 2 hours later, 3 hours. It wasn't until 5 hours later that Jiang Xiaoyun noticed that her points had increased slightly. Jiang Xiaoyun. No wonder I'm only 10 o'clock. It turns out that my level is so slow. Yun Shu, give me a jellyfish. Jiang Xiaoyun took Yun Shu's jellyfish and began to knead it. Jiang Xiaoyun plans to become an intermediate beast tamer before the college entrance examination, but now it seems that it may take some effort. Alas, with one move of time travel, I thought I had become a genius, but it turned out to be useless. Jiang Xiaoyun's heart was filled with sourness. Yun, no, you. Yun, it's okay, I'll protect you. Sure enough, it's better to be jellyfish. The most important thing is that they don't have brains. Without brains, there are no worries. Jiang Xiaoyun didn't care much anymore. In order to improve his cultivation efficiency, he replaced his junior training room with an advanced training room, which increased the price 5 times. However, it was also useful. In the advanced training room, he could increase it by a little in 2 hours, and 89 points would take more than 20 days in theory. It seems too late at the moment, but Jiang Xiaoyun is still eating spiritual fruits with Yun Shu. Although she can only eat less than 10,000 spiritual fruits also have a great effect on her, such as consolidating spiritual energy in exercising the body. This effect was discovered through continuous attempts by Jiang Xiaoyun, who urgently sought medical attention due to illness. Jiang Xiaoyun wished for a fruit to be knocked down in the sky and earth, 10,001. If I take this bite myself, it will cost around 1,000 yuan. Fortunately, 3 days before the college entrance examination, Jiang Xiaoyun successfully raised her level to intermediate beast master through relentless spending and crazy cultivation. Just then, Principal Wang called. Hello, Jiang, how is your cultivation going? We plan to estimate your school based on your information and willingness. Would you like to come to the school? Principal Wang sighed. If it weren't for her talent, you could easily choose from top schools. He wouldn't dare let her learn on her own. Her inherent knowledge base is not enough. Does she know how to practice without following the system of teaching? If other students just wake up and don't come, he can kill them at their home. Okay, Principal, you're right. I just became an intermediate beast tamer today. Please wait a moment, I'll be there soon. Jiang Xiaoyun happily shared that she knows her chess moves are dangerous, but she doesn't want to be an outsider, which puts a lot of pressure on her. Moreover, she's not familiar with this world and has no intention of getting along with others. Wait a moment, don't hang up. How many levels have you reached? Principal Wang was shocked. Intermediate Beast Master. What's wrong? Jiang Xiaoyun suddenly became nervous. Maybe everyone has reached a higher level, so what should he do? Indeed, self-study is not enough, but interacting with others puts a lot of pressure on himself. Jiang Xiaoyun silently lowered her target university to a lower level in her heart. She couldn't even get into the 985, right? Jiang Xiaoyun regretted it a bit. Do you know that so far many others have not entered the ranks of animal masters? Are you already intermediate? Principal Wang covered his chest. Is this a genius? It's really favored by heaven. Who knows nothing about training themselves to intermediate? Jiang Xiaoyun finally realized that others had not yet introduced qi into the body, and he had already built a foundation himself. Ah! Jiang Xiaoyun couldn't help but ask a question. Okay, we'll meet later. Principal Wang wanted to comfort himself. He's already a few hundred years old and still in the intermediate level. He had just woken up for a month and was already in the intermediate level. People die when compared to people, and goods are thrown away when compared to goods. Jiang Xiaoyun dared not stop for a moment and immediately took a taxi to rush to school. I feel a little proud in my heart. I actually have exceptional talent. Entering the principal's office, Jiang Xiaoyun saw not only Principal Wang, but also Han He. Minister Han, why did you come? I'll take you to register your level later. You've become an intermediate beast tamer so quickly. What's your star rating? Han He's face turned pale. He knew you were a genius, but he didn't expect you to be so talented. Who could become an intermediate beast tamer in a month? Yeah, Han He said before that he wouldn't protect himself when he reached 4 stars, but his panel only had a few levels of beast guards, so he forgot about that. Jiang Xiaoyun honestly said, I don't know. Han He. How did this child survive this month? There are only a few levels of beast tamers on the panel, which correspond to the number of beasts you can contract and the strength of your spiritual power. The world's defined star level is determined based on the concentration of your spiritual power and your own physical condition and skill number. In theory, the advanced cultivation method you use cultivates your spiritual energy, which only slightly increases your spiritual power. Therefore, many people cannot enter the ranks of animal masters in high school because universities only teach you how to cultivate spiritual power. Han He rubbed his temples and wanted to peel off Jiang Xiaoyun to see what kind of structure this person was. He didn't know anything and blindly practiced, but he didn't go crazy. The number of stars and levels requires machine identification, and in many cases, that machine is used. Testing only takes 100. Jiang Xiaoyun was also a bit confused. She didn't have the habit of encountering unfamiliar things or the idea of trying everything she saw. Han He sideways revealed a silver-white machine in the principal's office that looked like a game console. This is the testing machine, you happen to come and test it. Jiang Xiaoyun stepped forward somewhat awkwardly. This thing is found in both beginner and advanced training rooms, but she thought it was a game console or lottery machine and never touched it. According to the instructions from the machine, Jiang Xiaoyun held the handle with both hands, slowly flowing spiritual power in and releasing spiritual power outward. A current rushed into her body from the palm of her hand, shaking her whole body. A sound of victory in the game appeared, followed by a printed ticket. Jiang Xiaoyun took over the order. Congratulations, you have become a second-level 5-star beast tamer. Your ability allocation is 200 out of 100 spiritual power, 200 out of 100 spiritual power concentration, 0/100 skill quantity, 10/100 physical fitness, and 200/100 spiritual power level. Please strive to improve your weaknesses and become a perfect beast tamer. Jiang Xiaoyun. Han He. Principal Wang. Child, Han He rubbed his temples. Didn't you slow down your cultivation speed by 50%? Principal Wang. Jiang, can you share how you practice? Jiang Xiaoyun scratched her head awkwardly under the gaze of the two. Actually, there's nothing to say. I think it's still the function of advanced cultivation methods. Han He. Why didn't I know that advanced cultivation methods have such a great effect? Jiang Xiaoyun shared her cultivation plan for the past month. It's very simple. 6 in the morning, 10 in the evening, 8 hours of cultivation, spending money. Principal Wang/Han He. I can't learn, this person is really talented and frustrated. Alright, I'll take you to upgrade the Beast Master token later. Do you have enough money? If it's not enough, I'll upgrade you. Do you still need to contract a Warbeast here? I'll tell you, only one Warbeast can be produced in the college entrance examination, and the quality of Warbeasts in Beijing is higher. Han He rubbed his Taiyang acupoint with some fatigue. Tired, destroy it. Thank you, the money is still enough. After the college entrance examination, I don't have to worry about time. I can earn it on my own. My next battle beast is not in a hurry, I don't have any money. Jiang Xiaoyun sighed. Han He. Just as you said you had enough money, you said you didn't have the money to contract a Warbeast. 5 million, you're really throwing money to raise your level. The yellow-level beast tamers from the local beast tamer department can contract battle beasts for free locally, said Han He. Really? Jiang Xiaoyun's eyes lit up. A war beast could use up her 1 month's salary, so it would be best if it could go for free. It's really strange. If it's really like this, there's no need to do it. I always pay for it. Well, you can contract 3 now. You can contract 1 here now. It's enough for you before your junior year, and you'll have money when you're in junior year, said Han He. Okay, thank you, Minister. Jiang Xiaoyun said, do we have an arena in our city where animal masters compete with each other? I've been letting jellyfish babies train on their own, but I haven't played against anyone else yet, so I'm not sure if I'll take the college entrance exam. Han He. The number of times I was speechless in the first few hundred years was not as much as today. Wang Shuji, doesn't your school teach students these common sense questions? Please keep an eye on them and don't let the teacher just focus on teaching questions and neglect these common sense questions. Wang Shuji. In the end, I still memorized everything. Wang Shuji quickly responded and wrote this down in his notebook. Han He said to Jiang Xiaoyun, of course there is. You can take a taxi to the Beast Master fighting field and swipe the Beast Master token to match various levels of Beast Masters. Ah, good. Upon hearing Han He's explanation, Jiang Xiaoyun realized that she had not been anywhere except for the training room for the past month, knowing that the training room was still located across from her own community. After Han He's princess-level treatment, Jiang Xiaoyun successfully processed his documents and directly matched the war beasts through the VIP channel. As Jiang Xiaoyun was consciously preparing to input spiritual energy, she felt like her jellyfish baby wanted to come out. What's wrong with Yun Shu? Jiang Xiaoyun released it. As soon as Yun Shu came out, he entangled with Jiang Xiaoyun and said, no, I'm good. Jellyfish do not have tear glands, otherwise they could cry. I don't want you, can I find a younger sister for you? Jiang Xiaoyun remembered that she had made a fatal mistake. Having a second child without consulting with the boss. Chapter 6. First battle, almost drowned by my own Warbeast. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Really? Yun Shu buried Jiang Xiaoyun with a group of small jellyfish. It couldn't hug the Beast Master on its own, so it split up and let Jiang Xiaoyun hold it. Really, Yun Shu will become the older sister in the future and can lead other children to become stronger together. Jiang Xiaoyun is also the first time she has been a parent and doesn't know what to do, but even if the child is unhappy, she can't just contract one. Many competitions require a certain number of battle beasts, and the child may have a group of younger siblings in the future. Okay. Yun Shu was wronged, but he didn't say anything. Mom said she must listen to the Beast Master. Since the Beast Master wants to take care of the young, it is not easy for him to say anything. She can only comfort herself that she is the first battle beast of the Beast Master, the main wife, and needs to be magnanimous. Jiang Xiaoyun felt that something was wrong with her jellyfish, but she didn't know what was wrong. As more and more spiritual energy gathered, Jiang Xiaoyun felt it one by one. The clownfish. Sharks. Whales. Octopus. Sea anemones. Sea hare. Octopus. Lionfish. A group of small fish dazzled Jiang Xiaoyun, the finless porpoise. Swordfish. Wait, finless porpoise. Jiang Xiaoyun felt the pink spirit group, and it turned out to be a pink dolphin. This type of finless porpoise is a freshwater dolphin that lives in the river water. Leaving aside whether it's called the finless porpoise or not, it's mainly matched with marine creatures. Why is the freshwater finless porpoise here? Minister Han, will marine organisms be matched with freshwater organisms? Jiang Xiaoyun asked her own doubts. Freshwater creatures. There are few, but not none. Han he sighed a bit, indeed a favorite of heaven. These freshwater creatures are pitifully rare here, and she can even match them. Jiang Xiaoyun looked at the pink finless porpoise in front of her, her heart bursting with excitement. I'll take it, she said. Yun Shu was curious to see that his beast tamer had chosen a sister for him, and felt a bit uneasy when he saw that the other person was a big pink fish. Sure enough, his beast tamer immediately picked it up and rubbed the head of the big fish. Status. Danger. The beast master has always held only his own jellyfish. Jiang Xiaoyun hugged the pink finless porpoise and was overjoyed. Previously, when watching a dolphin performance at an aquarium, she envied others being drawn and kissing dolphins. Today, she also has one, which is still a limited edition. Very limited edition. This type of finless porpoise was originally an endangered animal. After successfully completing the contract with the finless porpoise, Jiang Xiaoyun opened its panel. Race. Pink dolphin, prototype. Chinese white dolphin, not Yangtze River porpoise, you silly. Attribute. Water, spirit. Talent skill. Mind control junior skills. Water rush, swinging tail intermediate skills. Energy recovery, physical recovery, spiritual recovery advanced skill. Ultrasound level. 1 star, 3 levels, 486/1500, grade. First time out evolution. 50 out of 100, Jiang Xiaoyun. Being scolded by the panel Han he said, didn't you say it's a freshwater organism? Jiang Xiaoyun's forehead support. Face slapping X2, hee, I didn't recognize it, did I? Jiang Xiaoyun tried to resolve the awkwardness in the air with a smile. Han he. Is your cultural class still salvageable? Yun Shu. The beast master doesn't want me so soon. I can't let the beast master only focus on this new sister. Cloud. Who is it? Yun Shu floated forward, trying to catch Jiang Xiaoyun's gaze. Jiang Xiaoyun. Oh no, there's also Dabao. I almost forgot, this is your sister, it's a dolphin. Jiang Xiaoyun began to introduce, although she wasn't familiar with either side yet, that's all for the introduction. Sister. After being summoned, the dolphin spoke for the first time. In fact, it did not want to make a contract with humans, but the dominant power was in humans. It was unlucky to be selected and could only abandon its idea of wandering alone. The sweet voice of dolphins gives people the illusion of falling into a gentle homeland. What kind of creature are you? Why have I never seen you before? The dolphin circled around Yun Shu and looked at her curiously. Me. Yun Shu was a bit speechless. How could this new sister's voice be so pleasant? Looking closer, her pink skin became even more delicate and lovely. If Jellyfish could blush, it would definitely turn red into a persimmon now. Deep sea, come here, Jellyfish, you, big sister, call, Yun Shu, can, talk. Yun Shu struggled to say a complete sentence. Usually, it only needs to jump out 2 words, and the beast tamer can guess what it says with a clear mind, but her sister can't guess it. She can only say the entire sentence. The jellyfish in the deep sea. No wonder I haven't seen them before. Why do I speak? Isn't every war beast that's preparing to contract with the beast master taught to speak by its parents when they were young? The dolphin said, tilting its head in confusion as it looked at Yun Shu, seeming impolite and adding that it could be taught. Yun Shu. It's over. The beast master will definitely prefer big fish that can speak, have sweet voices, and are pink and cute. Han He bumped Jiang Xiaoyun with his elbow and smiled, how do you feel? How does it feel to have two battle beasts? He eased the relationship between the battle beasts, which is a mandatory course for every beast tamer. How do you carry the water? Jiang Xiaoyun suddenly became thirsty for knowledge, without thinking about paying attention to the other person hitting him. Han He could only see the communication between the two war beasts, but she could feel the mood of her own jellyfish baby, it was almost chaotic. Jiang Xiaoyun closed her eyes and tried to escape. When you go to college, you will have this course. After studying for a semester, you will become a master of water delivery. Han He raised his eyebrows and said. Ah. Still waiting for college. Jiang Xiaoyun frowned bitterly. Cloud. Sister, name, sister, mine. Yun, what is your sister's name? Is it true that you said my sister was mine before? My younger sister is so cute, she is mine, my younger sister is very cute. Jiang Xiaoyun. Do you really like your younger sister? Jiang Xiaoyun, feeling Yun Shu's mood, felt somewhat puzzled. Well, little sister, cute, speaks well, Yun Shu circled around the dolphin. Sister Yun Shu, I'm not that good anymore. The dolphin visibly turned even redder. Jiang Xiaoyun. Great, they leveled the water themselves without class. However, it can also be understood that dolphins are already recognized as beautiful marine creatures, and as a deep-sea jellyfish, Yun Shu relies on the fact that other people cannot see the fish growing randomly in the deep sea. Suddenly seeing dolphins in shallow water, it is normal to like them. My younger sister's name is Yunxia, isn't she as beautiful as Xiaoguang? Said Jiang Xiaoyun. Yun Shu continued to circle around Yunxia. Jiang Xiaoyun felt a little emotional, as it was herself who had been circling around before. Alright, don't sigh. The other family's war beasts are just about to start fighting. Your family is so harmonious, so why don't you secretly smile? Han He knocked on Jiang Xiaoyun's head, I really don't know what this girl's mind is thinking. Why is she always different from a normal person? Jiang Xiaoyun reluctantly accepted this setting, which is that the attributes of both battle beasts are water and spirit, which is a bit empty. How can they deal strong damage now? But she doesn't plan to go to the training room today, go to the beast master fighting field. Jiang Xiaoyun is still very satisfied with her schedule. She started practicing at 8 o'clock in the morning, but became an intermediate beast tamer at 10 o'clock. She only took less than an hour to go back to school to handle affairs and apply for certification to compete in beasts. Going to play 2 games should only take half an hour, just in time for her mother to come and deliver food at 12 o'clock. Jiang Xiaoyun successfully took a taxi to the place, admitted his level of beast tamer, and waited to match 1v1. It is rare to have 2 stars for the beast master and 1 star for the beast master. Normally, it is the opposite, but there are those who train a second battle beast, so Jiang Xiaoyun is not worried about not matching a person at all. 198 Jiang Xiaoyun vs 68 Feng Yuanhe, please proceed to Dochang 39. So fast. Where is number 39? Jiang Xiaoyun followed the sign and walked forward. It had to be said that there were so many people here, and just avoiding and not colliding with them made Jiang Xiaoyun lose all his strength. Feng Yuanhe looked at Jiang Xiaoyun, who looked like a senior high school student, and said with some surprise, how do you maintain sisters? Just like a senior high school student. Jiang Xiaoyun. Coincidentally, I am a high school student. Referee. Both of you prepare, start. Feng Yuanhe. Sasha, Quantao. The opponent's battle beast is a shark. A sea of waves surged in, and Jiang Xiaoyun quickly summoned Yun Shu. Yun Shu, water shield, water arrow. Yun Shu summoned a huge water barrier, instantly dividing the training platform in half. Then, hundreds or even thousands of water arrows flew towards Feng Yuanhe. Sasha. Water shield. Feng Yuanhe was almost collapsing, whose good family's water shield was hundreds of square meters, and whose family's water arrows were hundreds or even thousands. Not to mention Feng Yuanhe, Jiang Xiaoyun was startled. This jellyfish wouldn't have used up all its spiritual power, would it? Feng Yuanhe trembled and hid under the water shield used by the shark, while Jiang Xiaoyun crazily gave Yun Shu spiritual power. Jiang Xiaoyun. Yun Shu, why are you so strong all at once? I didn't give you a single move to end the other party, did I? Yun Shu. Animal Master, help. It's already empty. Jiang Xiaoyun. Don't worry, I'll give you the blue immediately. Fortunately, Jiang Xiaoyun had sufficient spiritual power, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to withstand Yun Shu's next round of moans. Feng Yuanhe also realized that the opponent had little combat experience. He had just used all his spiritual power and immediately counterattacked. The water is rushing and the wind is raging. Yun Shu, dodge. Jiang Xiaoyun said, dizzy, the waves are surging. Advanced skills. Feng Yuanhe began to go crazy. Is this a competition for the 2-star Beast Master? Is this a 1-star Battle Beast competition? How could advanced skills appear? And isn't the other party's spiritual power exhausted? Yun Shu unleashed the surging waves, causing the entire competition platform to roll with waves. Jiang Xiaoyun. It's over. This wave is coming at me. Feng Yuanhe. Sasha. The shark quickly swam back to its owner and placed Feng Yuanhe on its back. Shui Dun, open up a bit, swim quickly, don't be washed away. At this moment, Jiang Xiaoyun. Gudu gudu. Jiang Xiaoyun attempted to swim. Failed in a wave of waves. Cloud. Jiang Xiaoyun tried to float up and call himself a Warbeast. It was suppressed by the waves again. Yun Shu. Jiang Xiaoyun gave up, and if the jellyfish didn't come, she would have had enough to drink. Heart-to-heart communication. If you don't come again, your beast tamer will almost drown. Yun Shu. Yun Shu swam towards Jiang Xiaoyun and lifted her up with a few jellyfish. Yun. Is everything okay? Yun Shu looked at Jiang Xiaoyun, who was wet and a little scared. If he were to be driven away, wouldn't he? Don't, it's only been a month since I've had enough to eat. I'm fine, you throw them down with an arrow, Jiang Xiaoyun said to Yun Shu in a spiritual exchange. There's no way, the person is spitting water and almost drowned. The judges didn't even realize that Jiang Xiaoyun almost drowned. No, who would have been killed by his own beast fighting skills? Can't you see that the control group on the opposite side can live underwater? And because of the master-servant contract, Warbeasts can feel the state of the beast master and will not accidentally kill the beast master, because if the beast master is killed, they will also become useless. Jiang Xiaoyun. Thank you for inviting me. I've been bugged and I'm almost drowned. Chapter 7. Sooner or later becoming an anti-social personality. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. When Feng Yuanhe was knocked down from the stage, he seemed to have his 3 senses shattered. No, whose competition is like this? Ah. As soon as the battle beast comes up, it uses up its spiritual power, all thanks to the beast master. Advanced skills are used in 1-star beast battles. The beast master was almost drowned by the skills of his own beast, even when the beast was using its spiritual power. No one else will believe any of this, right? Making up a false statement is more credible than this situation. Jiang Xiaoyun wins. The referee has not yet regained his senses, but his extremely strong professional skills make him consciously announce the result. The audience who was attracted also had an expression of what they were doing. Jiang Xiaoyun's face turned red with embarrassment, wishing to find a crack in the ground to crawl in. The only jellyfish that hasn't realized what happened yet is Yun Shu. "Help her, please, help her, please." Yun Shu entrusted Jiang Xiaoyun to the doctor beside him, almost hitting him in the face. Jiang Xiaoyun once again sighed, as expected, being a brainless jellyfish is good, and the main focus is on someone else who I am not embarrassed or embarrassed about. "It's okay, she just choked on a few mouthfuls of water, it's not a big deal." The doctor beside him casually used a skill and stared straight at Yun Shu. "By the way, Master Jiang Yu, what kind of Warbeast is it? Take a good look at it." The doctor's gaze couldn't be separated from Yun Shu for a moment, as if he wanted to dissect her and take a look at her structure, staring at her as a little white mouse. Don't ask Jiang Xiaoyun how she saw it, it's the same way she used to look at little white mouse. Jiang Xiaoyun had just calmed down and was using his spiritual power to dry his clothes. Upon hearing the other person's question, he suddenly stood in front of Yun Shu and said, "I'm sorry, it's inconvenient to disclose too much, but the information about my Warbeast will soon appear in the scientific research newspaper. If you're interested, you'll naturally know." Jiang Xiaoyun saw that the other party had promised well, but her eyes couldn't stop glancing at Yun Shu in secret. Jiang Xiaoyun simply put Yun Shu away. As a researcher, she understands the passion of someone who is interested in academia for a completely new research subject. But as Yun Shu's beast tamer, Jiang Xiaoyun couldn't tolerate her jellyfish babies being scanned with that kind of gaze. Cloud. It was obvious that Yun Shu didn't realize what was going on and was still secretly asking her. "Yun Shu, let's have a battle review," Jiang Xiaoyun said to Yun Shu. After 20 minutes of harsh criticism from Jiang Xiaoyun, Yun Shu stated that she knew she was wrong and would never make the same mistake again next time. Jiang Xiaoyun nodded in satisfaction and opened the bread to take a look. The skill points he had used doubled, and he also had an additional battle point of 6. Thinking of the novel he had read before, Jiang Xiaoyun began to increase his evolution points. Sure enough, his evolution points increased by 3. Jiang Xiaoyun's eyes lit up as she began to match the next opponent. 198 Jiang Xiaoyun vs 56 Xianyan, please proceed to Arena 68, both of you. Jiang Xiaoyun looked at the uncle across from him, feeling inexplicably unhappy. This person looked a bit like one of those bastards, probably someone's father. However, adhering to the principle of not wronging a good person, Jiang Xiaoyun only silently intensified his attack plan, without any preparation to strike hard. "Get ready, everyone. Let's go." Yun Shu, the water waves are surging. Yun Shu has become smarter this time. He didn't start fighting directly, let alone deplete his spiritual power at once. The surrounding audience saw an unseen battle beast on stage. First, they summoned a few jellyfish and held their beast tamer in mid-air. Then, using advanced skills, they placed most of the competition platform into the surging waves. Green disturbance, entanglement. To Jiang Xiaoyun's surprise, the opponent's battle beast was a kelp, which swayed in the waves but was firmly held onto the stage. Moreover, the entanglement did not go towards Yun Shu, but instead went far below Jiang Xiaoyun, attempting to pull down the jellyfish that was holding her. But the result will definitely not satisfy the other party. Attract, water arrows attacked the opponent's base. The colorful light on Yun Shu's body became brighter and more eye-catching, flickering and flickering. The skill of seaweed was interrupted, and the originally flexible seaweed suddenly drooped down. Later, the water arrow also knocked the unresponsive seaweed away. Green disturbance. Green tide formation, camouflage. Xianyan furrowed his brows, his breathing intensified a bit, and his hands began to imprint, with chains entwined. A wave disappeared, leaving behind a group of kelp on the stage. One by one, kelp took root on the stage and grew upwards, trying to pull Jiang Xiaoyun and Yun Shu down together. Yun Shu controlled his clone jellyfish to escape the entanglement of seaweed, but he himself did not escape. Before Yun Shu could break free, 2 metal chains crawled out of the ground and entwined with him. Jiang Xiaoyun doesn't have skills on her own, but that doesn't mean others don't. Jiang Xiaoyun, who had become a burden for the first time, closed his eyes and began to command Yun Shu wholeheartedly. Learning skills is much more difficult for beast tamers than for battle beasts, especially for intermediate skills, which are rarely learned by 2-star beast tamers. Because the ant who played in the game didn't use her skills, she even forgot about the skills of the beast master. Use seaweed for dizziness and mental control, and use a clone to hit the opposing beast guard. You can't move, but you have the ability to move. When Yun Shu was in a daze with his seaweed nerves, he broke free with a bit of seaweed and used several clones. After 2 jellyfish fell off his body, he became much more relaxed. With a forceful break, he quickly withdrew. When the separated jellyfish rushed towards Xiaoyun felt a flower in front of him. Some of the jellyfish on the giant tube jellyfish have a glowing effect, some have an attacking effect, and some have a controlling effect. The Xianyan jellyfish, which combines all its advantages and disadvantages, cannot be absent, but this small skill should not be taken seriously, so it does not appear on the panel. In theory, Xianyan jellyfish should also have properties such as light, poison, electricity, etc., so its properties can be increased. Shield. Xiaoyun wrapped himself up, and the clone jellyfish saw that their attack was ineffective, so they split into 2 waves. One wave pulled out the kelp on the ground, and when the kelp was pulled out, they stuffed it into their mouths. The other wave, under the command of Yun Shu, held water arrows and greeted the opponent's shield one by one. Jiang Xiaoyun can feel that the opponent's shield is constantly losing health. If Yun Shu were to learn water bombs and have his clones carry them one by one and smash them at the enemy, the scene would definitely be spectacular. Xiaoyun saw that he couldn't take the opponent down, so he planned to exhaust their spiritual power. After all, the attacking side always uses more spiritual power than the defending side. When the opponent's spiritual power is exhausted, he can throw them down. Normally, this tactic is not a problem. A beast tamer with gold as the main attribute and a beast with wood as the main attribute can definitely exhaust the opponent's spiritual power. Xiaoyun is still very satisfied with himself. After all, he is a B.level talent, which allows him to even surpass the level of a 3-star beast tamer and win. But what he miscalculated was that there was an S.level on the opposite side, and the 2 stars were all pulled up by spiritual power. Both the quantity and quality of spiritual power can be several times lower than him. Jiang Xiaoyun recklessly lost his spiritual power to Yun Shu. Yun Shu, don't worry about spiritual power consumption. Even if you use skills to smash, you have to smash the opponent off the stage. Okay. Yun Shu began to brazenly squeeze the water arrow. At the moment when hundreds of water arrows were fired, Xiaoyun's shield burst and he fell off the stage under the tremendous impact of the water. Jiang Xiaoyun's mouth curved slightly, and he sat with a jellyfish stepping down from the throne, as if he was not sitting with a jellyfish, but with a whole person following the European Empress of the century. Yun, don't you like it? Yun doesn't like him. Jiang Xiaoyun rubbed its head and said with a smile, there's nothing I don't like. I don't know him, it's just that I've been bitten by a snake for 10 years and have been afraid of a rope. Cloud, afraid, snake. Yun is afraid of snakes. No, don't think about it. I'll try to dry my head later. The shriveled jellyfish shouldn't look good anymore. Jiang Xiaoyun hugged the jellyfish's head and began to rub it. Jiang Xiaoyun is not unhappy with the other person, but habitually stays away from all men. When she was 7 or 8 years old, she hid behind the door and trembled as she watched her father punch her mother. At the age of 11 or 12, he was bullied on campus and was pulled to the men's restroom by several boys to beat and humiliate him. He reached out and touched his body indiscriminately. When he was almost violated, the class bell rang, which saved him from being bullied. During the years from the age of 7 to 15, every time her father hit her mother, she advised her to divorce, and finally bravely brought it up when she was 15. What comes in exchange is not freedom, it's the father beating his mother up and then beating himself up again. That night, while his father was sleeping, Jiang Xiaoyun held a divorce agreement in one hand and a kitchen knife in the other. He placed the knife around his father's neck and woke him up with the divorce agreement. He said, "Sign, otherwise this knife will fall on your neck." As expected, the other party cursed loudly, and after being scolded, Jiang Xiaoyun was not in a hurry. He gradually pressed down the kitchen knife and then slowly slid it back and forth. The kitchen knife was already a bit dull and slow to operate without hurting anyone, but my father was scared by her and signed a divorce agreement. From then on, she never came into contact with any boy, and the bullying touch made her feel numb all over her body, even though she felt uncomfortable through her clothes. As for the previous contact between the homeroom teacher, Han He, and Principal Wang, she didn't have a choice. This time, she could only be considered unlucky for the other party. She released all the resentment of being manipulated in the past 2 days onto the other party. He Suyuan. Don't Q, when hundreds of arrows shot at me, I was really scared. Jiang Xiaoyun shook her head vigorously and said, "Why do you remember these past events? The parents in this world are peacefully divorced, without domestic violence, and she has never experienced campus bullying. Perhaps it is because the laws on both sides are different. Here, everyone below the Beast Master is equal, and the status of children is extremely high. After all, no one knows if they will suddenly become unpopular, just like Jiang Xiaoyun, campus bullying does not exist. For now, all the grievances can only be swallowed by Jiang Xiaoyun alone, buried in his heart, and there is no possibility of revenge or release." Hiss, I've been thinking too far again. When will I be able to change my wild thoughts? Jiang Xiaoyun slammed his head in frustration. If he continued to think like this, he would eventually become an antisocial personality. With his talent, it could easily lead to the end of one party. Chapter 8. Wenkao, I am really a waste. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yun Shu, please protect me well. Your beast tamer is a fragile person. Jiang Xiaoyun buried it on the head of the jellyfish. Soft and easy to touch. Okay, who, you? Yun Shu nodded lovingly. As it was almost time for dinner, Jiang Xiaoyun quickly took a taxi to the entrance of the cultivation room and saw his mother walking towards it. Where did you go this morning, Xiaoyun? Jiang Weiwei asked. The college entrance examination is coming soon, and the teacher asked me to go back to school. Jiang Xiaoyun suddenly realized that she had not been instructed except for the college entrance examination, and had not mentioned a word about the college entrance examination process. Oh, the exam is coming soon. You're ready. If you have any questions, just ask the teacher, Jiang Weiwei said carefully. I'm fine, the teacher said that even if I'm nothing, my talent can still get me into top universities, Jiang Xiaoyun smiled. Nowadays, with a population of 500 million in China and 3.4 billion in the world, the probability of 1 in 10 million is considered a genius. Sometimes, the country produces an S.level rating every year, but most of the time there is none. Jiang Xiaoyun began to explain to Jiang Weiwei how talented her daughter is. Jiang Weiwei nodded happily and patted her shoulder, saying, Okay, Mom is not worried about you anymore. You should eat well and practice well after finishing. Jiang Xiaoyun was eating the pot bun meat sent by Jiang Weiwei in his mouth. The temperature from the small stall was just right for him to eat, and as he took a bite of the pot bun meat, Jiang Xiaoyun felt the gloom in his heart dissipate a bit. Looking back, God doesn't want to see himself immersed in the past, and after the 2 matches, Jiang Xiaoyun's enthusiasm for cultivation is not average. After finishing his meal, Jiang Xiaoyun entered the cultivation state again, but this time, another dolphin appeared in the training room. The water skills of aquatic organisms are always similar, and both have spiritual attributes. However, the spiritual skill can only affect others and cannot be practiced on its own, so Yun Shu's spiritual skill is not much longer. Why don't you try throwing spiritual skills at each other? Jiang Xiaoyun said. Okay. Two battle beasts nodded together and began to release their skills to each other. Yun Shu and Yunxia, you come here, I'll come here, it's quite interesting. Jiang Xiaoyun carefully looked at the panel and found that Yun Shu's spiritual skills were mostly controlled, because the giant tube jellyfish emitted light to attract small fish to catch and eat, while Yunxia's skills mainly focused on assisting in various restorations and stacking upwards. However, looking at Yun Shu's advanced skill mental control and Yunxia's innate skill mental control, Jiang Xiaoyun wanted to see where the difference lies. You all try using mental control skills. Yun Shu quickly released her skill first, but her current mental control only left Yunxia stunned for a few seconds, not even comparable to dizziness. However, according to the skill introduction, Yun Shu should be able to control a little of Yunxia's activities, but it was only a few seconds, and if there was no time to control it, it was gone. On the other hand, Yunxia's mental control not only allowed her to manipulate Yun Shu's actions casually, but also allowed her to release her skills. A few minutes later, Yunxia withdrew her skills, leaving Yun Shu completely oblivious to what had just happened. Is this the difference between innate skills and learning skills? Is this gap too big? Yun Shu, use your portable water pressure to be careful not to crush your sister. Originally, Jiang Xiaoyun should have used this kind of thing on himself, but when he thought of the first weakness, Jiang Xiaoyun felt that if the deep sea water pressed against him, he would turn into a photo in minutes. Yunxia was instantly pressed to the ground by Yun Shu's skills, which startled her. The fish, accustomed to floating, suddenly landed, and there was always a feeling of discomfort. Yunxia, can you try your skills and move yourself? Jiang Xiaoyun said while writing something. I can't use the water skills anymore, but I can't move my mind. I can't even lift my fish fins. Yunxia was pressed down on the ground, so she decided to lie down on the ground. Anyway, she couldn't get up, but for herself, it was just heavy weight on her body, so it didn't have any impact. It can only be said that it is truly a fish, it is just a stress resistance. 3 days passed in an instant, and soon the fate of the college entrance examination was determined. The day before the college entrance examination, Principal Wang enthusiastically explained the process to Jiang Xiaoyun, which was similar to the regular exam. She has never considered any outdoor competitions, and she thinks it may be because everyone has been practicing for a month and lacks the ability to compete outdoors. The next day, Jiang Xiaoyun followed the process closely and returned to school to obtain his graduation certificate and admission ticket. He was also granted spiritual powers. At the same time, 2 Warbeasts were also sealed in the spiritual sea, and they had to wait until the end of the day's cultural examination before being lifted. After a month of supplementation, Jiang Xiaoyun felt that even if she couldn't get a high score in the literature exam, she still had a moderate score. Well, I'm here for the college entrance examination with high scores in science and engineering, average scores in animal husbandry, and low scores in literature and engineering. There are 12 exams in a day, but I haven't been in such a hurry. Jiang Xiaoyun shook his head and said in distress. Each regular subject takes half an hour, and there is no writing in Chinese at all. In contrast, each subject in the animal science department takes 1 hour, which also allows Jiang Xiaoyun to take the exam from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. The chief examiner of the college entrance examination is not a good person. He completes 12 exams in a day without any rest time in between, which is really unreasonable. Jiang Xiaoyun walked out of the exam room, feeling exhausted from the exam and cursing profusely in his heart, feeling a sense of frustration that he had lost. Jiang Xiaoyun. Jiang Weiwei stood guard at the entrance of the exam room early on. When she saw her daughter walking out, she immediately stepped forward. Seeing that her daughter was not in a good mood, she knew she had not done well in the exam. Thinking about her usual grades, she didn't ask. Anyway, my daughter said that even if I don't have anything, I can still attend top universities. What are I afraid of? Jiang Xiaoyun spoke to Jiang Weiwei in this way, but the sense of powerlessness without knowledge and the fear of not being able to grasp things in her mind also pulled Jiang Xiaoyun to pieces. It's the first time she's so uncertain about the exam, she doesn't know many questions. Over the years, what Jiang Xiaoyun has been most afraid of is this feeling. Daughter, don't be sad. There will be a martial arts exam tomorrow, and you will definitely pass it. Jiang Weiwei, seeing her daughter so low, thought that something difficult had happened and began to comfort her softly. Jiang Xiaoyun suddenly couldn't hold her tension anymore, tears streaming down her cheeks as she rested her head on her mother's shoulder and said, "Mom, I think I'm really useless." How could it be? My daughter is a genius who can succeed without learning anything. Jiang Weiwei felt a little confused when she saw Jiang Xiaoyun like this. The words that were originally used by Jiang Xiaoyun to comfort Jiang Weiwei have been returned. Jiang Xiaoyun felt a bit sad when she saw that the other party didn't understand the point, but in this world, the theory of genius has deeply rooted in people's hearts. She now tells everyone that she is uneasy and thinks she can't do it. Everyone will tell her that you are a genius, and there is nothing wrong with being a genius. Jiang Xiaoyun wiped her tears casually and said, "You're right. There will be a martial arts exam tomorrow, and I'm sure I can do it." The next day, ordinary people finished the exam, but everyone's attention was actually more focused on the college entrance examination. In the eyes of ordinary people, these people who took the martial arts exam are the proud sons of heaven in the future, and the future nobles are beyond the reach of ordinary people in their lifetime. So everyone also hopes to see the shining geniuses, rather than just being like themselves. After entering the arena, Jiang Xiaoyun swiped his student card and took the mini electronic screen handed over by the staff. The entire system mechanism began to match, except for no level difference. It was not much different from the matching mechanism of the arena. The only slight difference may be that one is indoors and the other is outdoors. Jiang Xiaoyun looked at the newly received information on the electronic screen. Jiang Xiaoyun from Class 6 of Haicheng No. 3 Middle School versus He Ruren from Class 3 of Haicheng No. 1 Middle School, Competition Venue, No. 3, Competition Sessions, 1 game. Perhaps I'm afraid you won't be able to find the way, so I'll call up a map to mark the location of Site 3 and provide you with a navigation route. Very good, Jiang Xiaoyun happens to need it. She knows nothing about this martial arts exam venue, and without a map, she might have already been judged to have given up when she found the competition stage. Chapter 9. Wukao Accidents. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Seeing that her opponent was a gentle and refined boy, Jiang Xiaoyun didn't react much. Recalling that the so-called martial arts exam was a competition to see rankings, she didn't think about what mechanism it was, anyway it was said to be quite fair. With the examiner's command, both summoned the battle beasts at the same time. The battle beast on the opposite side is a brown bear, which surprised Jiang Xiaoyun. After all, in Haicheng, many people will match marine creatures based on the principle of proximity. If you want to match land creatures, you need to leave the province. Yun Shu is a jellyfish that has fought several times, and the first priority in the competition is to protect the beast guard. Jiang Xiaoyun floated up again. At this moment, the other party's brown bear had already rushed towards Yun Shu. Muhua, sharp claws. Many marine creatures have low defense, and brown bears have some restraint against fish, giving them an advantage in melee physical attacks against all but large fish. Shui Dun, Shui Wan. Yun Shu's water shield was torn by the opponent's palm, but the power of the water tornado on the opponent was negligible. Dizzy, with surging waves. The fierce waves swept the brown bear over. After all, the bear was a land animal and could not breathe in the water for a long time. A bear that barely swam on the surface of the water was considered to have no close-range attack. Gollum. He ran quickly asked Muhua to lift herself up with vines. Seeing the other person fall into the water, Jiang Xiaoyun lay on the jellyfish feeling happy. It's also a wood system, which can be divided into two types. Control and healing. Healing battle beasts will not play, and entanglement has no effect on Yunshu, who can slim down. Wrap and tighten, he ran felt a bit overwhelmed. The opponent was too naked to control anything, and Mu Hua's close combat was blocked. Most importantly, he had not yet seen what kind of creature the opponent was. He won't lose the first game, will he? He ran was unwilling to accept it and silently pondered the interference of spiritual power in his heart. Spiritual interference is his B.level talent skill, which can affect the transmission of spiritual power between the opposing beast and its owner, as well as the beast's control over the skill. Muhua, plant growth. A few emerald greens appeared in the blue water, while Yunshu's waves disappeared in the next moment. Feeling the interference, Jiang Xiaoyun didn't expect that someone would use both talents in the first round of the college entrance examination. Isn't there still a substitute session? Besides playing as a substitute, there are also challenges. But she didn't know that Ruren had always been a top talent in the industry, with great expectations from his parents and teachers. If he lost in the first game, it would undoubtedly be a huge blow to him. Fortunately, the college entrance examination could not be watched by onlookers, otherwise a high school student might have drowned the two with their voices. Surprised by Jiang Xiaoyun's strength, puzzled by Ruren's defeat. Faced with the opponent's fierce attack, Jiang Xiaoyun gritted his teeth as he saw the forest about to bury Yunshu. Yunshu, carry water pressure with you. The skill was released, and the trees that were originally growing upwards were broken by tremendous pressure, and several stiff trees were unable to grow upwards. Suddenly, a safety belt appeared around Yunshu. The brown bear, who was rushing towards it, was pressed to the ground by tremendous pressure as soon as it reached the seat belt. Ruren's heart tightened and he used his innate spiritual power to interfere again. The brown bear struggled to stand up, but the serious internal injury also made it spit blood from its mouth. Seeing that Jiang Xiaoyun was still under pressure, Ruren quickly said, "Don't. I'll give up." Jiang Xiaoyun immediately stopped. The water pressure that could turn a person into a photo was not a joke. Even if Yunshu put in his effort, he could still crush the Warbeast. Jiang Xiaoyun jumped off the jellyfish and said, "This is the first game. You don't have to fight like this, and no one is watching you." Jiang Xiaoyun understood that young people want face, but they also need to leave a way out for themselves. Ordinary people will immediately think about the next match when they see advanced skills, but who knew he had a trump card? Ruren remained silent, just took the brown bear down for the doctor to treat, drank the supplement himself, and sat cross-legged. "You're very strong, they always say I'm a genius, I think you're the genius." Upon hearing him say this, Jiang Xiaoyun had no choice but to avoid the genius theory even if he was a top student. He left without making any evaluations and went to rest. 1. Yunshu happily circled around. The Beast Master said that this competition is very important and the opponent is very strong. Does winning it mean that it is also very strong? Well, let's go and see another arena. Jiang Xiaoyun picked up Yunshu, who had shrunk into a ball, and secretly ran to the edge of another arena, quietly looking up. The statement that the college entrance examination does not allow onlookers is relative, but as long as you do not affect the fair examination, the invigilator will also turn a blind eye. Not allowing onlookers is to prevent the public from watching and affecting the competition, so it selectively blinds candidates. Jiang Xiaoyun quietly looked up at the stage. Then he furrowed his brows and said, "What the hell is this? You're hitting me one by one, turn-based. Don't go under the command of the Beast Warrior. The Beast will attack 1 minute later. Is that too laggy?" Jiang Xiaoyun didn't understand and was greatly shocked. Yun, they're taking it so slowly. Yun Shu doesn't quite understand either. It is a 1-star 3 level, so naturally I don't quite understand 1-star 1 level Warbeast, and the cooperation between that Warbeast and the Beast Master is not smooth at all. Obviously the matching degree is not enough. Jiang Xiaoyun seems to know why the principal trusts him so much that he can do well in the exam. It turns out that I encountered a academic genius in my first game, no wonder I didn't want to lose even if I had to play my cards. Jiang Xiaoyun saw that this match was over and her next match was also matched, so she started looking for her own field. Jiang Xiaoyun. Jiang Xiaoyun heard someone calling her and turned to see Hiyusen. Jiang Xiaoyun recalled that there were not many high school memories here, but in her previous life, she did have several acquaintances in high school, including Hiyusen. Hiyusen. Are you also taking the exam near here? Jiang Xiaoyun thought it was an exam room when she saw herself walking in the same direction as the other party. Jiang Xiaoyun, haven't you read the information? Let's have a fight together, Hiyusen said with a bitter smile. Ah. Jiang Xiaoyun's eyes widened. How did this matching mechanism work? Let classmates compete. I really haven't seen it yet. Hiyusen pulled up the notification page and handed it to Jiang Xiaoyun. It was really impressive. Hiyusen from Class 6 of Haicheng No. 3 Middle School vs Jiang Xiaoyun from Class 6 of Haicheng No. 3 Middle School, please go to competition platform 5. Please be merciful, Hiyusen said half-jokingly. Her own talent is only at level D, and I don't know how much Jiang Xiaoyun's talent can be guessed to be higher than herself. If that's the case, Jiang Xiaoyun smiled. It's impossible to be lenient, but in her heart, she must curse the matching mechanism. If she wins this game, Hiyusen must play at least one more game to regain her ranking. Examiner. Jiang Xiaoyun and Hiyusen. Jiang Xiaoyun/Hiyusen. Yes. The competition begins. 10 water arrows, Jiang Xiaoyun summoned Yun Shu to command. Jiang Xiaoyun fixed her gaze and saw that Hiyusen had not even released the battle beasts. Withdraw back. Seeing that Hiyusen couldn't dodge, Jiang Xiaoyun quickly ordered to withdraw. Although I don't know if the other party can avoid it, I'm sure I can win anyway, so I can't let the other party get hurt. The water arrow was 1 centimeter away from Hiyusen, and the scattered water splashes hit her face. In an instant, Hiyusen's face turned pale, and she stood there in a daze, unsure of what to do. The entire process only took 1 or 2 seconds, and the examiner didn't even react. These students had only practiced for a month, and there were hardly any who could follow suit. The vast majority, like Hiyusen, needed time to summon battle beasts and had the skill to shake in front. And there are almost no skills like Jiang Xiaoyun that can not only be instantly triggered, but also quickly react to terminate them. The examiner reacted and was also scared and sweating. If there were any problems with the college entrance examination, he wouldn't have to do it. Quickly approaching to check on Hiyusen's situation, he gratefully glanced at Jiang Xiaoyun. This must be a genius. Chapter 10 Conversation. Soul Chicken Soup. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Are you okay, Hiyusen? Jiang Xiaoyun was almost scared to death. Even if everyone else had a Warbeast bonus, how could a student who had only been practicing for a month be so powerful? If these water arrows hit Hiyusen, at least it would be a serious injury. It's okay, Hiyusen said softly, but her face still turned pale. Examiner, I admit defeat. Upon hearing that Hiyusen had already given up, the examiner quickly helped her down to rest. Jiang Xiaoyun thought for a moment and called out Yunxiao. Sing a song, control the range here. As a dolphin, singing with spiritual power can relieve tension even without the need for skills. Thank you. Hiyusen forced out a smile. She knew that if Jiang Xiaoyun hadn't stopped quickly, she would definitely have died on the competition stage, and a powerful water arrow would have shot through her head. There is still time until the next scene, and Jiang Xiaoyun is by his side. Your talent must be very high, stronger than the top 3 in the first high school. Yusin knew that Jiang Xiaoyun's grades in the class were the last, and he usually had a personality that didn't want to work hard and didn't want to show off, but in reality, he only showed off. To be frank, she doesn't believe Jiang Xiaoyun will work harder than her, and the last month hasn't come at all. She didn't know all the training techniques for cultivation, but even so, she had no fighting power against her. My high talent is one of them, but being able to take the college entrance examination shows that I have been working hard all month. If I rely on my talent to show off, I can still go to a good university and be recommended directly. But when I came to take the college entrance examination, I didn't need to be recommended, Jiang Xiaoyun said seriously. You didn't ask for a walk. Yusin couldn't imagine why she would refuse. Despite her poor grades, she couldn't go to college without talent. Later, she self-deprecatingly said, "Don't be fooled. Even if you are separated, if you don't do well in the exam, top universities will still come to your home to find you." Jiang Xiaoyun didn't argue back and said, "Do you know what I've been doing this month? I started studying cultural courses at 6 in the morning until 8 o'clock, and then stayed at the training center until it closed. After returning home, I learned 10 o'clock again. This kind of life with nothing else to do but study, I spent a month." Yusin looked at her in surprise, carefully examined, and Jiang Xiaoyun began to work hard. She dares to guarantee that if she had such good talent, she would never work so hard. She is not someone who loves learning, how could she suddenly work hard? Why don't you come to school? If you go to school, you can definitely learn very well, Yusin asked. Jiang Xiaoyun said helplessly, I had an accident and couldn't attend the beast class at school. I had to attend the regular class. Firstly, I didn't want to be involved in that accident. I couldn't accept those exploratory glances. Secondly, I couldn't learn anything in the regular class. Yusin didn't expect it to be because of this, so she had to remain silent. Yusin, what would happen if you lived in a world that only focused on grades, regardless of your talent? There were no beast races in that world, and people couldn't practice. Everyone was just ordinary people. Would you think of changing it? Jiang Xiaoyun suddenly became serious and spoke very seriously. No beast. No talent. Although Jiang Xiaoyun said it strange, Yusin still thought seriously. Maybe, because without innate talent, everyone has a chance to change their destiny against the heavens, right? You know, the teacher said the most about me is that I am very smart, but I just don't learn. I know she's not trying to coax me, but when I think about it, if I study well but don't have talent, my efforts will be in vain and have no effect. I can only be a cheap laborer. If I have talent, even if I have 0 grades in academic courses, I can still attend an ordinary beast university. Yusin pursed her lips and roast, this is not fair at all, even this exam is not fair. Why do ordinary people also take the civil arts exam? Just let them work directly, Jiang Xiaoyun seduced. It's different, this can distinguish between high-level cheap labor and low-level cheap labor, Yusin said. Jiang Xiaoyun explained, when we come to this world, we are not just here to achieve success and fame, are we? If ideals and personalities are not realistic, then let's talk about reality. There are the most D-level talents in this world. If you have a D-level talent and practice harder than others, you can become the number 1 in the D-level and win against the mediocre C-level talents. If you study harder than others, when encountering rare and precious herbs in the secret realm, you can earn a little more than others. When cultivating Warbeasts, you can have more ideas. Perhaps with just one more herb, a little more ideas can make you more powerful than a C-level talent. Besides, if you have 9 stars and are a holy level beast master, would you still be afraid of Samsung's ordinary S-level talents? What Jiang Xiaoyun said was all her own thoughts, but she felt that speaking it out was like soulful chicken soup. Do people who are ruled by this ideology still have this consciousness? Seeing He Yusin not speaking and staring at her with wide eyes, Jiang Xiaoyun felt a little flustered in her heart and said, "That's all I said." "Jiang Xiaoyun, what you said is too good. From now on, I won't slack off." He Yusin felt a little touched in her heart, although it may only be 3 minutes of heat, she also wanted to seize this heat. After all, who wants to see the end at a glance for a lifetime without any hope? At this moment, the panel suddenly appeared in front of Jiang Xiaoyun, and the sentence, "Heaven and earth are not benevolent and all things are like cud dogs," was emitting a golden light. The light dissipated, and the number after this sentence became 1 out of 10. Jiang Xiaoyun opened her eyes wide and a earth-shattering idea appeared in her mind. "You really believe me?" Ding-ling. Jiang Xiaoyun and He Yusin's small screens lit up simultaneously. The competition session has come down. Jiang Xiaoyun from Class 6 of Haicheng No. 3 Middle School vs Fu Shuhai from Class 1 of Haicheng No. 1 Middle School, please proceed to the No. 1 competition platform. He Yusin stretched her head to look at Jiang Xiaoyun's screen and exclaimed in surprise, "Oh my goodness, isn't this the top student in grade 1? I heard he has an A-level talent. Isn't talent a secret? How did you know?" Jiang Xiaoyun wondered, how can the secret of talent still be spread like that? "Oh, no, because he can play B-level without any fighting ability, and everyone else's level guess is the same," He Yusin said, "and he ranked first in the first grade of the civil arts exam, and many people are watching his talent. If he didn't have talent, he would have been privately linked by the royal beast family long ago. Sure enough, as long as there is gossip, nothing can stop their footsteps. Alright, let's hurry to the competition stage. It won't be too late for a while, don't worry about me," Jiang Xiaoyun said. "You can rest safely too." Okay. In front of the No. 1 competition platform. "Hello, I'm Fu Shuhai. I heard you defeated He Ruren," said Fu Shuhai as he saw Jiang Xiaoyun coming. "Well, what's the matter?" Jiang Xiaoyun was surprised that the other party would ask him this. "I am the first, he is the second, regardless of civil or martial arts," Fu Shuhai said. "If you defeat him easily, then my chances of winning will decrease." As Fu Shuhai spoke, he looked at Jiang Xiaoyun with some surprise in his eyes. When did a dark horse emerge from 3rd middle school? Was it the one who was dragged away after testing his talent? I heard it's a woman, it should be her. After testing his talent, He Shuhai was also approached by someone who had a good understanding of the government's efforts to attract talent. Jiang Xiaoyun frowned, but didn't know how to avoid the other person's scrutiny. He casually said, "It's me. I think it's still easy to beat He Run Ran, so you'd better be careful."